Hey folks, Carl here and welcome to episode 5. You know, at some point I'm going to run out of fingers. So, this is, as I've stated before, the King Tiger build that I was lucky enough to win on the Monday evening eModels live stream with Skipper Ted and Mr. Fox. So, if you want to win something, they don't give a prize away every week. Sometimes they give away a code and things like that for eModels. Come along, join in on the chat, fire your questions to the guys over there, and they'll be more than happy to answer them. Also, there's a Facebook page been set up by the Treehouse Boys called the Model Makers Boom Hut. So have a search for that on Facebook. Actually, I'll put a link in the description. Go along, join in. Post your stuff, any hints and tips you've got, share them. That's what this is all about, sharing the knowledge, showing each other what we're up to and getting hints and tips, etc, etc. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle a little bit, so this episode we are now moving on to the upper hull. As you saw in the previous video, the lower hull is now finished. Well, there's still stuff to add on to this, but we shall get into that. So, upper hull. So we're moving on to parts 11, 12, 13, 14. There's quite a lot to this upper hull. So we'll see how far we get. Hopefully we'll get at least as far as 15. Hopefully, we shall see. And it looks like we'll start moving on to the photo etch. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay folks, we are moving on to the upper hull. We are looking for 3 sprues to start off with, C, F and D. So we have C and F and D. So this is the main part. So we're going to cut this out. Make sure we don't lose this center section, clean it all up, and we need this, looks like a support frame here, and then the front sloped armor. So, as always, I'm going to start working through steps 11, 12, into 13, and hopefully into part 14, which looks like we're getting onto the photo etch. So, as always, I'll work through any problems or any issues I come across. I shall start recording again and highlight them and go through what it is that I've done to get around the potential issue. So, I shall carry on and I shall talk to you shortly. Hey folks, I just started recording just to show you. When you cut this piece out, D18, when you come to actually trim the nubs off, be very, very careful, because the back end of this tank here, across this beam, is phenomenally weak and flimsy. A few times I almost bent it in two. So what I've done is I've gone and glued in parts F47, which is like a support frame. Again, I think this is designed if you are building the interior. It's also designed for attaching some of the other parts too, like this section here, which is D4, which is the holder for the main turret. So I just thought I'd stop and give you a warning about that. This section across here is phenomenally flimsy. Now with this support beam in it, makes it a lot more structurally sound. The other part is gluing parts C15 into place. It's not very intuitive where it goes, but if you look on the inside of here, there's a lip around the edge here, and this piece, actually the inside of this piece sits on that lip, so it will actually push down and into place like so, and it doesn't look right as it is at the moment, so I'm not going to glue it down just yet. I'm going to take off part D4 and do a dry fit with this piece and D4 in place to see what it looks like on top of there. So I shall get that done and I shall be back. Talk to you shortly. Okay folks, I have taken off part D4 and I've also stuck on, excuse me, part D8, which is here, which is a very small part that sits on there. Just adds a little bit more strength to this. Now this part is actually going to sit on top of there. However, if you were to stick that down and glue it into place and make it solid, when you come to put this piece on, you have these two pins here that locate onto this bar, so they will sit quite nicely in there and it fits very, very well. But when you come to the front end, it's not the easiest to get into the right place, and if this sits high on this point or anything, you're going to have real trouble. So what I'm going to try and do is stick this back edge down so it's stuck in place like so, so that the front end will still move a little. Then stick this into place, or glue it, and while it's still setting and soft, move this front edge into position and then glue that as well. Because if you glue this into the wrong place, if we zoom in a bit, you're going to end up with some funky gaps, which we don't want. It all fits together very, very nicely, but everything's got to be in the right place. So I'm going to do this, or at least attempt to, and I shall be right back and show you what it's like. So talk to you shortly. Okay folks, that's us back, and that is now glued into place. It went together pretty well actually. I glued the two tabs at the end as I discussed. I put a strip of glue down the back as well. Give that a few moments to dry. I then manoeuvred this top piece into position. If you look at this part here, it's difficult to tell whether it goes above or below, or if it sits flush on camera, or if it sits flush like so. I put it so it sits flush, and it actually fitted around these edges pretty damn well. There was a few gaps a little bit further down here, but they were hair thin, so all I did is I put a little bit of glue in and then applied a little bit of pressure just to close that gap, and it was the same on the other side. So as you can see, there's absolutely no gaps, or very, very tiny ones. There's one there, but I think that again we can just put a dab of glue in there and we can seal that using the glue. So actually I'll show you on camera what I mean. So if we put a very small, let the model pull the glue out like so, and then literally just push the mold together, hold it for a few moments, actually melts the plastic, and then the plastic will hold itself. If anything, it'll add a little bit more texture and detail to what is supposed to be that weld line, because the plastic will extrude out of the kit very, very slightly. So if we let go of that now, there's no gap there now whatsoever. So there's another little gap there. So just do the same again. Dab of glue in there, and then just get the mop and just push it together until the plastic starts to melt, and the plastic all becomes one piece. and there we have it, a perfect or near perfect fit. So okay, so that is part 11 now finished, and obviously with adding those extra bits on we are halfway through part 12. So the only thing left to do on part 12 is to add this ball joint for it looks like the front machine gun. So I shall get that done and move on to part 13. So talk to you shortly. Hey folks, so made up the ball joint and we've taken off the actual gun cover, ready to go in place. Now it's stating in the instructions to put the ball in place and then glue the cover over the top of it without mounting the gun. It then shows you in part 13 to put the gun together and push it in from the inside out. Now I don't trust that 100%, so before I actually go and glue it in place I'm just going to do a dry test fit. So I'm going to get that done and I shall be back shortly. Okay folks, that is part 13 finished as far as we can take it. So we've got the ball in there and we've mounted this cover. Now the turret, this one, will go in through the back of the tank, so I've left it out for now. I need to attach it to something so I don't lose it, something a little bit bigger, but yeah, that fits. We've also gone and fitted these back plates here. It's like double the thickness, but what happens is the back of the lower hull sits proud up against these and makes it look like a proper weld seal. In fact, let's put it on and show you. So the fit of this top to the bottom is pretty impressive, if we can get it on, that is. So there we go, that's in place, so you can see the fit at the front. Oh, wrong way. You see the fit at the front, there's practically no seam there at all. Underneath, you can see it because it's not glued together underneath. And then at the back, as I was saying, this piece goes over the top to make it look like a weld and a connection. The actual fit itself is pretty, try and peel it away, you can see it just sits underneath there. So when you're putting these pieces on, it might be worthwhile being very careful you don't glue it while you do it, is to attach the lower hull, push it up, put it up to where it needs to be, and then a couple of quick dabs of glue, not too much, holding it in place for a few seconds and then getting the hull off so it doesn't stick, and then that's what I did, and then it's in the perfect place for when you actually come to put it together. So yeah, so next part is going to be D14, and this looks like we're going to start building up this back section. So I am probably going to go and get all the plastic parts done and we'll see about the photo etch. So I'll go get that done and we'll be right back. Okay folks, we've started on the back panels. So far we have done one hand tool onto the back. Now the part I'm about to start is attaching parts B22, and I shall zoom in and show you part B22. I'll make some space. So where are you? B22. So there. Oh, wrong way. So you're going to focus. There we go. B22. you're going to have to do these in a similar way as we did the nubs on here. Use a cocktail stick and a bit of blue tack, and with these stick into 1, 2 and a third. Oh no, they actually go in these grooves here. I'm talking nonsense. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to get the have a go at getting these in with cocktail stick and some blue tack, and yeah, wish me luck. I shall be right back. Okay folks, done. Well, one of them anyway. It's still a little bit wet, so we got 1. Come on, focus a bit better than that. 2, and we have the third there. So I didn't actually use the blue tack method. It was taking too long for the glue to overcome the stickiness of the blue tack, so I ended up using a very fine pair of tweezers. It was a case of picking it up with your finger and then taking it off your finger with the tweezers, and then dabbing some glue on the cover itself and a tiny little bit on the hook, and then just plopping it into place and letting go, and then manoeuvring it about and putting it in the correct place with the tip of the knife. So I shall get on with the other one, and we'll look about. Oh dear, that stressed me out. And we'll look at getting them attached to the back of the tank. Oh, this is the photo etch to do. So yeah, so I'll get the other one done. This one, and get the tools on it, and I shall be right back. Okay folks, that is now these two panels done. You've already seen this one with the pins on, and these are sitting on the back of the tank, and the one with the what look like pliers go on this side. They just literally drop into there, and I've also now got this one complete with the hooks, and this one drops on this side. Now at this point in the instructions it tells you to start to fit the photo etch, but we're not going to do that. I am going to attach this tow rope and move on to section 15 and get these centre panels done as well. So as always, I shall carry on and talk to you shortly. I'm lost where I am now. Speak to you soon. Hey folks, back again. I'm just started to stick this tow rope down, and there's a couple of slots inside there, and this is sitting almost covering them up, so I thought I'd have a quick look before it completely dries and sets properly if there's anything that goes in there, and there is. There's this. So and if you look on this, it's got grooves either side for the tow rope to go into, so I would recommend, it's quite a few steps further on, I'd recommend getting these prepped and ready first and get them glued on at the same time. Otherwise, if this tow rope sets in place and then you try to get these on, you might end up having a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, so I shall carry on. Do these at the same time as a tow rope. Everything else goes way around it, so it's not an issue. So I shall carry on and I'll talk to you shortly. Okay folks, that is now the cables and the rods finished on both sides. Now this side it all fitted okay, with the rods wrapped around the cable itself, and it all fitted in the grooves of where it should do. But unfortunately this side, the front fitted, the rods fitted as they should, but the back, where it should have gone into the slot, I don't know if you can see it there, yeah, just about. It's not much, it's only a couple of millimeters, but it's still short, and if you pulled it tight it misshaped this and then just pulled it out, so there was no chance it was ever going to reach. So I just glued it down as close as I could get it. So we'll probably cover that up with some gunk when we're painting it and hide it, fill it with dust or mud or something. Oh no, we're not doing a muddy tank, we're doing a clean tank. Well, we'll find something. So we're getting, I think, past 20 minutes on this video now, so I'm going to call it there. Next video we'll look to start to put the photo etch onto these back grills and start on the engine covers and the commander's hatch, and then probably finishing off the rest of the tooling, and probably finish off the back plate of the tank. So as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed. I think at the time of making this video we're sitting on 82, which is amazing. So yeah, and I'm starting to waffle again, so yes, thank you very much for watching, and remember, be good, be safe, keep making them models, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.